Let's have a seat, my son.
Hi guys. I'm right here with the prophet Isaiah. This is going to be a way interesting conversation.
Can I tell you a story?
Sure.
You know, as a prophet I had many encounters, prophecies and revelations, but there's one I'll never forget.
Which one is it? Is it the one about Lucifer in Isaiah 14?
No.
How about the prophecy of the Messiah in Isaiah 53?
That's a good one. I know that Jews hate that particular one, because it reminds them of Yeshua, their Messiah. Anyway, that's not the one.
So which one is it?
It's the vision of God I had in Isaiah chapter 6. That vision shook me to my being.
So please tell me more.
In that vision, I saw God, seated on a throne. He was high and lifted up. His robe filled the temple. God cannot be compared to anything in existence. I saw him as this big being full of light.
That reminds me of 1 Timothy 6 verse 16, which says that God dwells in the light which no man can approach.
That's very correct. When I saw God, who was so high up, I also saw some seraphims above the throne.
What were they doing?
They stood there shouting,
Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory.
The posts of the door moved as they cried. The house was filled with smoke.
And then, what was your fate?
My son, you cannot encounter Shekinah, the glory, and remain the same. Oh no no no. Prior to this encounter, I was a prophet. But when I saw the Lord, I saw my uncleanness. This is why the presence of God is important. If I didn't have this encounter, I would have kept on prophesying with unclean lips. I would have made myself happy, while God is wooing my uncleanness.
Wow.
When you come to that light, it exposes what is in you. And for me, the only fault that I had was unclean lips, which I never knew I had.
You know, in today's world, we have machines that scan people when they're at the airport. And if they are carrying something illegal, it will be detected. So that's the way God's light is?
Absolutely. That's why it's important to come into God's presence.
What now happened after you realized your unclean state?
One of the seraphims flew with a hot coal in his hand, taken from off the altar.
Did he throw it at you?
No, son. He took the coal and put it upon my mouth, and he said, Lo, this hath touched thy lips, and thine iniquity is taken away, and thy sin purged. I still remember those words as if it were yesterday.
Interesting. What happened next?
Well, there was a call in heaven. God asked, Who will I send? Who will go for us? And I said, Here I am, Lord, send me. He now commissioned me. He gave me my assignment.
Wow. One thing I noticed from your story is that God had to purge you of your uncleanness before you could fulfill his assignment.
Correct. God doesn't like dirty vessels. There is a level of purity and consecration that is needed for God to be able to release certain assignments and certain levels of graces and oils.
So true. Also, God can use anyone. He even used Satan to achieve his redemption plan. So the fact that God is using you doesn't mean you're right before God.
That's right. You know, I was a prophet prior to this encounter, but I was prophesying with unclean lips.
So this is a message for those who have lost the presence of God in your secret place. Get back there, because outside of it, you're in danger. This great prophet of God almost missed it, if not for God's mercy. Seek God's presence, because that's the difference between right and wrong, because you may think you are doing the right thing, but in great error. It is only the light of God's presence that can reveal it. Thanks so much for the story, sir. I learned a lot.
Anytime, son. Anytime.